I'm on vacation, so I made a quick TikTok about the Minnesota school shooting because I could not make a full video. And I wanted to talk about their right-wing extremism, but I deleted the video right after posting it because I thought this is wrong. These kids were shot in pews in a church while praying. And their blood is not even dry yet. And we don't have enough time to gather information to really know a cause, a motive, whatever it might be for this person. I might get something wrong. I don't want to get something wrong and say something dangerous. But I deleted it and opened up Twitter, and I saw Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Republican elected officials using this crime as a reason, a justification, a call to action to eradicate all trans people in America, to take away all legal rights for trans people of any age in America. So they talk about defending kids. They don't give a shit about kids. Look at Ghislaine Maxwell in a minimum security prison. None of them talk about that. They want to take away rights from all trans people in America. Now this person, the shooter, had on their weapon, 6 million Jews was not enough. They had the N-word, they had homophobic slurs, they had We Was Kings, which is a way to make fun of black people through neo-Nazi spaces on the internet, making fun of black people and you know, trying to recollect black history as well, We Was Kings. It had a bunch of stuff about maybe wanting to eliminate Donald Trump, which is something Nick Fuentes, a far-right person, says. He's a groyper neo-Nazi guy on the internet. But this person's ideology was a mix between Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, and Nick Fuentes. And after knowing this person identifies openly as a neo-Nazi, they call themselves a neo-Nazi, they identify as that, they're on the internet talking about themselves as a neo-Nazi. Their big point is, oh, we have a picture of them looking kind of feminine. They might be non-binary or trans. So therefore, trans people and radical gender ideology need to be exterminated in America. You heard this person was a self-identifying Nazi who voted for Republicans in Congress and followed Candace Owens and her teaching, and Tucker Carlson, and Nick Fuentes, and all these people's rhetoric, and they believed in it. And you want to talk about their gender ideology? They are a Nazi. You hear all this stuff, you're like, oh, it's because they're non-binary. Therefore, all trans people in America need to be eliminated. If we look at total domestic terrorism, 98% of mass shootings in America are done by white men when it comes to terrorist defense and not other gun violence. In America, trans people are actually underrepresented in overall mass shootings, by the way. So it's a very small portion of the population, but it's a very small percentage of mass shootings as well, even smaller than what trans people make up in the population. If we want to blame a group based on any data or fact at all, it would be white men, but I'm not going to do that either. That's very stupid. It's very dumb. It's very dumb and stupid. Their identity is not the reason they do this stuff. It's these radical extremist ideologies they believe in that destroys their brains and gives them a form of mental illness and makes them go insane on the internet, reading all these crazy things. These people who have depression, anxiety, so they go to these sources on the internet that have purpose. And then, you know, this person was suicidal, so they decided to take it out in an insane way based off of what they were being urged to do on online chat boards. They were asking people, should I go shoot up a school? And online chat boards said, bet you won't. And it's crazy. Republicans, MAGA in America today, will use any tragedy to this means. They got mad at the left, some of the left, saying these floods in Texas, Republican politicians are the reason that little girls died in this flood in Texas. Now, if Republicans in the area, they were told to install siren systems, but they said, no, we are not going to install siren systems because Joe Biden's money he wants to give us, they're radical communists. They will overtake our towns, our houses. They're going to bring radical communism, give us forced vaccinations. We don't want to take any of this dumb Joe Biden money, give it somewhere else. They actually wanted to keep the money because they did not want the money to help a Democratic state by a chance. But Joe Biden gave money through the American Rescue Plan, through FEMA, through a bunch of different programs to allow Texas to build alarm systems in the floodplains. All right, and Republicans said no. So there's a cause, and we had the effect. All right, we can see how we can go back and fix something to make things better in the future. So when Democrats brought up issues with the flood in Texas and called Republicans hypocrites for ignoring climate change, ignoring the warnings, not doing preventative measures to keep these kids safe, and then not having the response team necessary to help more children be saved. When we bring out actual issues to solve real problems, we were told we are politicizing things. We are politicizing things, all right? But this shooting happens, and Republicans are willing to go on there and call to exterminate a minority group. It's and again, we are at a disadvantage Because for myself, I don't want to be that person spreading bullshit. I don't want to spread fake narratives. I don't want to get something wrong. I don't want to get someone hurt. I don't want to hurt families that just lost their kids because I want to have a political agenda and set a narrative and make a profit and have my side win. But if we don't engage in breaking news and this narrative battle, how do we win against the right wing that'll say anything, do anything, and an American public that seemingly will believe almost anything that they say? This is a genocidal language. If you have people calling trans people cockroaches, people like Charlie Kirk calling immigrants cockroaches, leaders of the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk runs the biggest youth organizing group in America through Turning Point USA on college campuses everywhere. And he is radicalizing a bunch of these young men, especially these young men, some young white women, into becoming Nazis, literal Nazis. Their ideology is no different from Nazism whatsoever. And we have no rebuttal from the left in these same organizing spaces. And I don't know how to beat that, especially when we are unwilling to engage in the dirt of politics because it is wrong. Gerrymandering is wrong, but we need to gerrymander to defend ourselves. How do we manage breaking news? And yeah, the right-wing extremism is the motivation for like 80% of domestic terrorism in America. It's by far the vast majority of domestic terrorism. The left makes up like 4%. 4 or 5% of domestic terrorism, and around like 15% have no actual direct cause when it comes to political ideology. They can have a bunch of radical ideologies. They're not in the main Overton window of political discourse. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Please drop a like, repost this video, share, whatever, like my page, subscribe, comment, whatever. Let me know in the comments what you think we gotta do to tackle this information war, because they will get people hurt if they keep doing this. And it's ironic that their propaganda that caused this shooting, they used it to benefit from this shooting, to attack minority groups that they hate. And if we say a real problem is arising and we have real facts and real mechanisms for helping people, they will call us, dramatic assholes that over-politicize everything. But they don't get any of that flack. This is why what Gavin Newsom is doing with his Twitter account is good. It's getting Democrats to grow a pair, to grow some balls, to grow a ball, maybe 2 balls,